Good afternoon. It's time to call to order the City of Tullahoma Planning Commission, June 19th. Determination of a quorum. We have 6 present, 1 absent. So this is and at this time to please the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the United States of America and to the republic which stands, nation under God, indivisible, with justice for all.
The minutes from the regular meeting of the on May 15th, 2023. Entertain a motion for the motion from Mr. Seller. Any discussion? All right. In favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. Minutes passed. 6 to 0. All right. General on items not on the time. I would invite anyone to come and not a specific agenda in the Planning Commission. Your time is limited to 3. Thank you. We got the microphones working. Public hearing again, so I'd come forward and speak on. Anyone would like to come forward? Seeing none, I'll two reports from Mr. Rush.
Or one Linda Lane with a single family dwelling. A lot exceeds lot size of 1,000 square feet, and also the width of 75 feet. Owned by TUA, power line easements, but underground utility, 20-foot easement side. What is it? Tullahoma Division regulations. It's 480 feet. Easement for lot. Staff recommends subject to all staff.
Thank you, Mr. Rush. Got a motion from Mr. Berry?
Motion to subject to all staff comment.
And from Mr. Hall.
Question.
If put the house on the other lot, what are you going to do? Driveway lot that would petition.
How would we do in this year? Needs.
All right, that's fine.
Else? All right, I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Passes 6-0. With your Section 8, new business. B, zoning. These are also public. Zoning mapping amendment 4 request to the properties at 8 to 1804 Springs Road, 242 412 500 603 East 511 513 515 General Street, 611 and 609 Street, 12 6 68 20 702 712 and 16 to 608.
Public hearing, anyone else? Sir, you're recognized.
I'm Don Adams, and I live at 203 Hickerson Circle, and I also have a house on Monroe, 419. And these properties in question on the papers is all in front of me, and we were just concerned about, we didn't know what was going on. Those people have worked on those houses and fixed them up pretty good. They're pretty nice, older houses, they are older.
Yes. We'll go into a little bit more background information about what's driving this, but yes, this should be again, I think this is a step in the right direction.
And it's just three
an
right in
opinion.
the middle of the block, and that's what was worried about, but I kind of understand that now, the way you do it. But we was afraid it was going to be commercialized or something.
It's being zoned residential.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You've already had your time, sir. I'm sorry.
I've got 4 properties. I should be able to talk to you.
Sure.
They're going to be at 210 South Washington.
Okay, you could. I'll acknowledge that.
I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm always one that sometimes I have to hear 2 or 3 times to fully understand. So in a nutshell, Mr. Royce, the city's coming up to these residents and going, hey, we're going to make your life better, and we're not going to penalize you because we're going to go from C2 to R2, where you're more flexible on doing things with your residents. Is that in a nutshell what you're saying?
I think the proper way to say that is that the people at these lots are currently non-conforming in their zoning districts and will be conforming with these changes.
Conforming to either R1 or R2 is what
Yes,
you're saying?
the current use is non-conforming and they will be conforming after this.
Okay, so meaning like if I wanted at one of my properties at 208, or did you say 305 East Lauderdale? Because I didn't hear that. I have that as well. And again,
I said a lot of
just want to
things.
fully understand.
No,
folks.
I did not.
I didn't think I heard it, but I have.
305 East Lauderdale is on here,
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong
page
line.
23.
Okay, so you do have it. Okay, I just want to make sure.
Currently C2 going to R2.
Correct. Okay, so in a nutshell, again, and just for, because you guys deal with these lingos, like Danny, he took the words right out of my mouth, and you guys have these meetings and talk about all that. We don't know. We're coming here for a brief 10 minutes, and you say all that stuff, so I guess I'm speaking on behalf. I just want to make sure that it's going to be in our benefit, it sounds like, for us residents, and I'm going to say this respectfully, for everybody that pays taxes here in Tullahoma, it's going to be for our benefit. We're living in our house. If we want to build a garage or want to put a shed on, we're not going to have to go through, if you will, red tape if we're in a C2. Is that correct?
So
You're moving from a commercial to residential.
That's what I said. We're going from C2 to R2, so it's going to be easier if we want to build a garage, we want to build a shed.
As long
Not
as
gonna
you follow
Excuse me?
the zone- as long as you follow the zoning requirements.
Okay, so
So
what are the zoning requirements then? Have you stated exact zoning requirements for each property?
Well, if you want to build a shed, I mean, that's an accessory structure, so that has to be, 10 foot.
What about a house?
Yeah, you can build a house as long as it has, was it public, sewer or,
Yeah,
public utilities.
like I said, it's inner city.
How large the lot is and everything else, as long as it meets the R1.
And I want to get technical here because one of my properties, 208 South Washington, when I bought that property, it was actually 208 and a half in 208 South Washington. The house burned down. I guess the guy had something where he had sewer running and electric running in the back. And the 208 and a half is on the alleyway there, okay? So I've got a bunch of property up front. I'm thinking about possibly building another smaller, house. So this would be easier for me to do is what I'm asking then.
currently you are not able to do that.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
And you will be able to do that
All
through
right.
proper permitting and everything else, but you will be able to build a residential house.
Again, sometimes I need 2 or 3 times explanation. I'm not trying to be difficult.
Okay.
I'm just not used to the city going, it's going to be to your,
Hi, Mayor. It's going to be to your benefit going, hey, this is, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and that's where I'm at today. I'm a little bit like, oh, okay, so, thank you.
Understand.
I appreciate you. Say again?
Tell your friends. It's
They're-
all bad.
Exactly, yeah.
All right. Yeah, thanks. Your time's expired, but I appreciate the comments. Just in general, and I'll continue this in a second, but I think that the 2011 comprehensive plan, whatever that was, came through and kind of did Daniel, you may be a better answer to that, but.
At some point, 2010, 11, right around there, the city did one of these here, right? What we're doing now, but it wasn't to the benefit of. So it took some where you should have been R1, R2, R3, and they moved it to commercial. And so if you already had a house on there, or in Mr. Sloan's case, he had a trailer or a mobile home on there, well, that put it in a position to where he could no longer redo that. Or like he gave the example of a tornado comes through and tears the house and you need major, well, because of that unfavorable, it made it to where you couldn't do that. So what we're trying to do, and Mary and the planning department has been trying to do this for about a year and a half now, we've been trying to do this, is trying to right that wrong and make these consistent. So, and I do understand that a lot of times it's tough to believe when the government says, hey, we're doing this for you. This really is. This really is.
So, yeah, that's what we've been trying to get through the comprehensive plan, so that the comprehensive plan land use map agrees with the use of the properties listed here. And we're trying to do a blanket rezoning to make them corresponding in their use, because right now they are every single one of these properties is non-conforming. So you will not be able to rebuild what you have there without without changing the zoning.
And the flip of that would be like where you have the historical zone behind you, if we left it as commercial, then somebody could pop in a business there, or, what would fit, and so that hurts.
Okay. All right. I'll continue the public hearing if anyone else has any comments. I hope that may have cleared everything up, but. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say thank you. I had no idea my property was on commercial. Didn't know when that happened. It was residential when I bought it, so thank you for changing that and getting it updated.
It's been about a 2-year effort, so.
It really would have been a job, it's been industrial.
All right. All right, let's keep this in order. We're definitely on the skirts of that. Thank you. Any other public comments or hearing for the hearing? Sir.
My name is
Here.
Sagar Godse.
In the microphone, please.
Oh, sorry. My name is Sagar Godse, and I recently bought a house on 412 East Monroe Street. And I want to know the difference between C1 and I think that's what it is right now. It is going to go C3. I just want to see that document where it says what C3 can and cannot do, because I realized after buying the property I cannot even add a deck, or if something happens to the structure then it cannot be reconstructed. And also insurance-wise, I don't know, the property insurance-wise, what C3 has any restrictions on it? Is there a particular kind of insurance I should go for? Because online documents, sometimes they show it still as a residential. Now we are talking about C3, so I have a lot of questions on that, and just would like to have some clarification, please.
Yes, you're going from C.
Mr. Rush. Yeah, go ahead.
You're going from C2 to C3, which allows for single-family, two-family dwelling, townhouse, townhomes, multifamily developments, as well as some commercial activities. But I believe you're just for the residential.
Yes, I mean.
But those will all be available to you.
Right, but then when it comes to reconstruction, let's say tornado or something unfortunately happens, under C3 I will still be able to reconstruct it, right?
Yes, it allows for single-family, two-family dwelling, townhomes, townhouses.
Okay.
Multifamily developments, pretty much everything for R1 through 4, pretty much.
All right, so why it is called as C3 then? What is the purpose of calling it as a C3? I mean,
Well, multiple uses. It allows for everything from C1 to C2 to be in C3, as well as housing to be in C3 as well.
Okay.
From
And then,
R1 to R4.
okay, and then timeline-wise, what we are looking at, like, when is,
They will make a favorable motion. It will go in front of the board, Mayor Alderman, for 2 readings. As soon as it passes 2 readings, it will go into effect, if it does,
okay.
if they find it favorable.
And you're welcome to opt out too, once you, I would recommend, first off, your time's expired, so, but I would recommend following up with Mr. Rush in his office, or, and actually sitting down with Mr. Rush or Ms. Samaniego, and getting them to directly answer your questions. And I believe you can still opt out after we pass this, I would think.
Yes,
So, yeah.
you can opt out even during the readings for the board, Mayor Alderman.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we looking at like couple months from now, this change going to take effect?
Yeah, second meeting in July
Okay.
for the board, Mayor Alderman. It's favorable when they pass it through.
Okay, so,
Oh, yeah, first meeting, I'm sorry.
okay, so basically till then I cannot add any deck or anything?
Yes.
Right, until this is approved, then everybody will be able to do what they want with residential property.
Yeah.
They'll be able to make the changes and do the things that they need to do. The only requirements will be, still have to meet zoning requirements as far as setbacks, things of that nature. Those type of things will still have to be in effect, but in essence, you'll be able to take care of your property. You'll be able to rebuild your property. You'll be able to put a single wide trailer on your property.
Yeah.
So that's just part of this thing, trying to make this better for everybody that was affected by these spot changes.
Because I'm also worrying about the insurance perspective.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
your time's expired. Please, like, if you have any follow-up questions, stuff like that, please get with Mr. Rush in office hours tomorrow, or and then he'll answer your questions.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks.
Any other citizens for the public hearing? Last chance. All right. I'm going to close the public hearing, and we'll move on to, is there any additional staff report, or I think we probably just about.
Just one thing, the motion should exclude the opt-out of 511 East Warren Street, since that is the only one that we have currently.
Okay. All right. With that, I'll entertain a motion. Mr. Berry, please.
Motion to,
Hang on, let him.
motion to approve excluding 511 East Warren Street from, is that the correct, from the list?
Gotcha.
Second.
Motion to amend, right?
No, because we haven't made a motion yet.
Okay. All right. We got a motion to redact or remove 511 from the,
To approve with. that
Removing
removed.
511 East Warren Street from the list. Excluding 511 East Warren Street.
okay. Second for Mr. Comer.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now, we need a motion.
Oh, that was the motion.
That was the motion.
Motion
An
was
amended motion, he just made it motion that way to start with.
send a favorable recommendation to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, excluding 511.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that, let's do that again. Motion,
Yeah.
second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you. All right, motion passes 6-0. Motion to send a favorable recommendation to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, with the exception of 511. All right, that concludes the Planning Commission meeting. So at this time, we're adjourned from that, and we will move into the Board of Zoning and Appeals meeting. So I'll call at this time, I'll call the order of the City of Tullahoma Board of Zoning Appeals this Monday, June 19th. read and approve the minutes from April 17th and May 15th meetings. At this time, I'll entertain a motion. Motion from Mr. Berry and second from Mr. Rice for the approval of the minutes of April 17th and May 15th. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. Meeting approved. Minutes approved 6-0. New business, variance number 229, to reduce the front yard setback of for an accessory structure from the principal building line to 10 foot at 202 Williamsburg Circle. The applicant is Thomas and Amelia Johnson. I would invite the applicant to come forward at this time and tell us about your variance.
Good evening. My name is Thomas Johnson, my wife Amelia Johnson. We live at 202 Williamsburg Circle. We both have a large family. We just want to put a pool in the yard.
Can you speak into the microphone, please?
My name is Thomas Johnson and my wife Amelia Johnson. We live at 202 Williamsburg Circle, Tullahoma, Tennessee. We just like to extend our fence and put a pool in our yard.
We have an unusually shaped backyard is the problem, is what has happened when we build our house. But we are both citizens of Tullahoma. I've been here my whole entire life. My maiden name is Sheffield, if that helps. I'm just joking. Seriously, we have a small backyard. We're just trying to extend our fence up to the front of our house and put a pool in for our 4 grandchildren, for our 4 grown adult children who don't live with us but visit frequently. We have a large family and would just like to have fun in our own yard, basically.
Well, thank you.
Yes, sir.
If we have any questions, we'll call you back up. So,
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is a public hearing, so at this time I'll open the public hearing for the variance request. Anyone from the public is willing to come, would like to come speak forward? All right, I will close the public hearing and move on to the staff report. Mr. Rush.
Yes, the applicant is proposing to construct a 600 square foot accessory structure. The subject property is currently within a low-density R1 zoning district, which has a minimum setback distance of 25 feet from the local road, Trot Lane. The proposed addition is located 10 foot from the property line along Williamsburg Circle. The existing lot is irregular shaped with a very long front/corner yard on Williamsburg Circle and very limited sides and rear yards. The property is surrounded by detached single-family residents on all sides in the R1 zoning district. The Planning Commission has the power to grant such variances as will not be contrary to the public interest and under restrictions established within the zoning ordinance. The Planning Commission shall not recommend variances unless it makes findings based upon written evidence presented below. Number 1, variances shall be granted only where conditions or circumstances such as exceptional narrowness, sitting, topographical, fully described in the findings of the board do not apply generally in the districts. Staff finds that there are significant limitations relating to the sitting of the accessory structure as it relates to Williamsburg Circle's right-of-way. There is not a practical way to make the necessary building improvements given the irregular shape of the lot. See the exhibits. 2, variances shall not be granted to allow a use otherwise excluding from a particular district in which requested. Proposed building, a pool house, a pool structure, is permissible in the R1 district. Number 3, for reasons fully set forth in the findings of the board, the aforesaid circumstances or conditions are such that the strict application of the provisions of the ordinance would deprive the applicant of any reasonable use of land. Mere loss in value shall not justify a variance. There must be a benefit of the use of land. Staff finds that the request to decrease the front yard setback of the accessory building to accommodate upgrades to the property is a reasonable request for the use of the property. Moreover, the requested activity would not negatively impact any other property in the district. Number 4, any variance granted under the provisions of the section shall be the minimum adjustment necessary for the reasonable use of land. The request requires a reasonable adjustment to the setback to accommodate a relatively small structure of 600 square feet in area. Number 5, the granting of a variance is in harmony with the general purpose and intent of the ordinance and will not be injurious to the neighborhood, detrimental to public health, safety, and welfare, or in conflict with the comprehensive development plan. It is staff's professional opinion that proposed encroachment in the front yard setback will not be an injurious to the neighborhood. The proposed pool appears to be in the side yard rather than the front yard because of the triangular shape of the lot and the location of the front door. Staff recommends to approve the variance request based on staff findings.
All right, thank you, Mr. Rush. We got a motion from Mr. Berry.
To approve the variance with the disclaimer that
They're my neighbors, but
You get to go over.
I'm on Linda Lane, so I know where the neighborhood parties will be. 2 of you.
And you're invited.
I'll second that.
All right, so we got a motion to variance, to approve the variance, and we got a second from Mr. Hall. Any discussion amongst the board? All right, at this time, I'll call a vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, motion passes 6-0. Hopefully your grandparents will enjoy that pool. Thank you.
That's what he wants to go there.
Or I'm sorry. Yeah, hopefully your grandkids will enjoy that pool. And happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to new business 3B, variance 230, to increase the maximum height from 35 feet to 47 feet at the 700 block of William Northern Boulevard. The applicant is the Harton Family Partners. Is anyone from the Harton Family Partners here to speak on this?
I'm just here representing Natalie Marty. I'm not speaking.
Okay. All right. This is a public hearing. Are you speaking for the applicant or?
Yes.
Yes, my name is Alex Grace. I reside at 4650 South Lee Highway, McDonald, Tennessee. We're under contract to purchase the 2.31 acres from the Harton family and wanted to speak on behalf of the developer. We're based out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. We develop hotels in the southeast. And we're asking the board's consideration for a variance request from the 35 foot to 47 feet. Due to the irregular shape of the property, it kind of bottlenecks into it, and so we're having to provide circulation around the entire building footprint, and so we desire to go to the 47 feet, which includes the parapet, will allow us to build and construct a 4-story hotel. I'll certainly reserve my time, sit back and answer any questions y'all might have about the proposed development and what our plans are for the property.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, this is a public hearing, so anyone from the public would like to speak on this, come forward. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and move on to the staff report. Mr. Rush.
Yes. Was it table TZ-1 of the zoning ordinance states the following. For any structure to be built at a height greater than the maximum building height will require a variance from the Board of Zoning Appeals. The maximum allowed building height in the R3, R4, C1, I1, I2 zoning districts is 50 foot. The majority of the building will be at a height of 45, while the roof elements will be 47 feet in height. The Tullahoma Aviation Authority staff has stated that the maximum height of 47 foot will not interfere with any existing or proposed airport activities. The Tullahoma Fire Chief has stated that the 47-foot height is within the capabilities of the city's 102 aerial apparatus, and that the fire department can provide adequate support to the proposed building within the operations of scope. The Plan Commission shall not recommend variances unless it makes findings based upon written evidence presented to it in each specific case following. Number 1, variances shall be granted only where special conditions or circumstances, such as the exception of narrowness, sitting, or topographic, fully described in the findings of the board, do not apply generally in districts. Staff finds that there are significant limitations relating to the seating of the building as it relates to the fronting on 3 roads. The section of William Northern Boulevard, Cedar Lane, Lake Way Place are required a minimum building setback of 35 foot. from the edge of the right-of-way. Because of building setbacks, the building must increase its height to get the desired amount of floor area for the project. Number 2, variances should not be granted to allow a use otherwise excluded from the particular district in which requested. The use of the proposed building, hotel, is permissible in the C2 district. 3, for reasons fully set forth in the findings of the board, the aforesaid circumstances or conditions are such that the strict application of the provisions of the ordinance would deprive the applicant of any reasonable use of land. Mere loss in value should not justify variance. There must be a benefit to the land use. Staff finds that the request to increase the height of the building is a reasonable request for the use of the property. Moreover, the requested activity would not negatively impact any of the property in the district. 4, any variance granted under the provisions of the section shall be the minimum adjustment necessary for the reasonable use of the land. The requested variance, the requested requires a reasonable adjustment to the height that is not conflicted with existing maximum height standards of 50 foot in the zoning districts within the city. 5, the granting of the variance is in harmony with the general purpose and intent of the ordinance and will not be injurious to the neighborhood, detrimental to public health, safety, and welfare, or in conflict with the comprehensive development plan. The Tullahoma Aviation Authority, as well as the fire department, has stated that this height variance will not determine detrimental to the operations and/or deliveries of the services. Staff recommends to approve the variance request based on staff findings.
Thank you, Mr. Rush.
Motion to approve the variance.
Second.
All right. That's a motion for Mr. Berry, second for Mr. Comer. Any comments?
Just a quick one. Thank you. This is a large investment into Tullahoma, 123, 25 rooms. I'm sure it's going to be several $1 million investment, so this is what we love to see. Thank you.
So I do have a kind of a general question. I mean, it's not going to affect, but there was some talk about there was going to be subdividing this land out or something like that. So is that that's on the north side though? Is that correct? They were going to make that intersection straighter.
Yeah. Yes, they are.
They traded out some property to straighten out that road, to allow them to have this capability to build the hotel.
Is that reflected here?
It doesn't show it on the map. I was looking at that too.
To accommodate our sidewalk for that project.
Oh, so, yeah, but it would also.
That's where it started with.
Also to straighten it.
And then to straighten it out, sidewalk project down Cedar Lane, which really motivated our movement to this. This is just a side benefit that's coming along.
Okay. All right then. Thank you. All right. Anything else with this? All right. I'll call the vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. Motion passes 6-0. We are now at the end of our agenda, so we are adjourned. Thank you.